Welcome back to the channel, guys. Me, Joe. I'm super excited because I have some great news that I finally can share with you guys. I've been working behind the scenes and I finally acquired my first few sponsors. Now, all of these companies sponsoring me, I've been working with, and I really believe in their business and I really believe in their company, or else I wouldn't partner with them. I don't believe in partnering myself with someone that I don't see myself working well with. And I believe in these companies and I want to promote them, and I want to promote my channel as well. So, without further ado, let's get into my first sponsor. My first sponsor is American Legacy Fishing. If you don't know who they are, they're a company that sells fishing products. You can check them out online, and they're at their website, American Legacy Fishing. They'll be linked in the description below. And right now, if you use my code LEE10, 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 you can get 10% off your order. And this applies to everything on the website, but it does exclude some stuff. It'll be linked in the description below, and my discount code will be linked down below as well. My second company that I've gotten is Notorious Custom Jigs. If you don't know what Notorious Custom Jigs is, they are a soft plastic company. This soft plastic company, they make a bunch of trout baits, paddle tails, rock cod, link cod baits. I'll link them in the description below. I've used their products a lot. If you watch any of my trout videos, you've seen me use their products. The last, but definitely not least company that I decided to partner with is JoeshowFishing. JoeshowFishing, they make some amazing flies. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, I'll link it down below. I'll also link his shop down below. If you watch one of my recent videos, I'll link it in the description as well. It's a trolling video, and I was trolling flies and we were absolutely smacking them. This is definitely a new avenue for me, but I definitely see myself using flies more for striper. Let's get into the video. Today, I'm going to make a video, guys, featuring my top 5 favorite striper baits. One of the most common questions I get on YouTube, on Facebook, on anything is, what bait should I be throwing? What lure should I be throwing? So in my experience, I'm going to share my top 5 baits. I throw a lot of other baits, and I'm sorry if your favorite bait didn't make the list, but these are the baits that I consistently throw and catch fish on. So the first bait, this is in no particular order, is a Super Spook. Super Spook is probably perhaps one of the first topwater lures that I learned how to fish, and it's one of those lures that you could just go out and have an absolute blast catching fish on. Pretty inexpensive. This lure right here darts side to side like this. You have to learn how to walk the dog action, but it absolutely smacks fish. I like throwing this in the bone color, I like throwing this in the black color and the clear color. I also like throwing the Super Spook Junior when the bait fish is a little smaller. This is the one I've been catching a lot of fish on. It's the clear color. Clear is a really gimmicky looking color, but it works absolute wonders. The Spook, I feel like, shines when the fish are shallow. When the fish are super shallow, I'm usually fishing it, I'd say, less than 5 feet of water. When the fish I know are in less than 5 feet of water. When they're really close to the surface or there's not much water underneath them, that's when I'm throwing the Super Spook. Second bait on my list is the Cotton Cordell Pencil Popper. The Cotton Cordell Pencil Popper is an absolutely killer topwater. It's one of those baits that can draw a striper in from very far. It's a really loud topwater. Listen. It's a lot louder than the Spook, in my opinion. And the difference is this guy spits water. If you look at the mouth, it's cupped. So when you walk this, it spits a little water and makes a lot of noise. This guy shines when the fish are shallow as well. I fish in the same situation as a Spook, but I fish this when I feel like the fish need to be called in a little more. And this bait right here, I usually fish in less than 5 feet of water, or if I know the fish are shallow. This is one of my favorite colors. This is white with the red head. I also like fishing in the bone color and the smaller size, and I like fishing in the silver black or silver blue back pattern as well. The Cotton Cordell Pencil Popper is a really inexpensive bait, and it catches absolute monsters. I highly recommend throwing this bait. It's an absolute blast to fish, especially when you're targeting bigger ones in the California Delta. Next up, number 3 on my list is the Lucky Craft Pointer. The Lucky Craft Pointer is a suspending jerkbait. It absolutely smashes striper. If you never fish a jerkbait for striper, stripers absolutely destroy it when it's paused. So this, you twitch, it cuts, and then it just suspends. It just hovers in place. And when it's hovering in place, stripers just come up and smack it. It's one of those baits that you could draw a lot of bites with. I feel like the jerkbait shines when the stripers are kind of scattered and they're not really in a tight school. The Lucky Craft Pointer can draw the school together and can draw you those bites. I like throwing in this color. This is Sexy Shad. I also like throwing it in Ghost Minnow, and I also like throwing it in, I think it's called American Shad. It's a really foily reflective color. But the Lucky Craft Pointer is definitely a bait you want to use, especially if you're trying to trigger stripers to bite. Number 4 on my list is the glide bait, and the glide bait I like to throw is the Sneaky Pete. The Sneaky Pete is an amazing glide bait. This is a big bait, and it's meant for big stripers. What I like about the Sneaky Pete is it has a really loose joint. I hope you guys can see that. And what I like about that is in current, it starts really fast. It's different than the S-Waver because this, as soon as you reel the handle, it'll just start gliding. The S-Waver takes a couple of turns in my opinion to get to that gliding motion that you like, but this starts really, really fast in current. And I also like that these have rotating hook hangers. I think they help keep the fish on. I like throwing this one in, I think this is like a light trout or yellow trout color. I like throwing it in the bone, and I also like throwing it in this color right here, IU. IU is one of those colors that I thought was kind of weird at first, but I saw my buddy smack a lot of fish on it, and I started throwing it. This is the Pistol Pete. This is the smaller one. This works really good when the bait fish is smaller, but I really, really enjoyed throwing that Sneaky Pete. That Sneaky Pete is an amazing glide, and I think in the whole scheme of glide markets, it's pretty cheap. I think it's only like $40 or something. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's only like $35 or $40. I think it's a really good price glide bait. I really enjoy throwing that, especially when I'm trying to get a bigger bite. Last but definitely not least is a Swimbait, and you guys all know this Swimbait if you've watched my channel. It's the Reactions Innovations Little Dipper and Skinny Dipper. I like throwing in this Bad Shad green color. That's a very natural looking color. It absolutely smacks fish, but I also throw it a lot in the Skinny Dipper in White Trash. That's the color, it's basically white. And I also throw it in like Sexy Shad, Chartreuse Shad. And the reason I like the Reactions Innovations Little Dipper and Skinny Dipper over the Kitech is because it has a lot of body roll. Whenever you get a Kitech and it comes in, and I fish Kitechs a lot and they're absolutely phenomenal baits. The Kitech, all it does is the tail just kicks. The tail just wags like this. And that does it a lot of the time for striper, but this has body roll to it. So instead of just coming in and the tail just kicking like a little bit, this whole body rolls. So it's coming in and the bait's going like this and it's kicking at the same time. And I feel like that draws a lot of the bites for striper. Some of my favorite colors to fish it in is this white pearl, the Bad Shad green. I fish it in like a Sexy Shad color. They all work really well. I put it on a jig head and you just cast it out and wind it. This is a really good bait when you're just searching for stripers or searching for active stripers. The stripers just come up and absolutely massacre it. Swimbait fights are one of my favorite bites to get on. It's super easy lure. If I ever go out with a beginner, this is usually the lure I give them. You just have to cast it out and wind it. That does it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoy listening to my top 5 striper baits. I use a lot of other baits, but I had to narrow down to 5 to help key you guys in on what I'm throwing and key you guys in on the best lures that I've caught fish on this year. If you like these type of videos where I go over instructionals or I go over the top baits that I use, let me know. Drop me a comment down below. I'd also appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. See you guys next time.